Hello everyone. Hope everybody is doing great during this social distancing time. And whenever I speak to people, immediately they ask, how is COVID-19 situation in your area? So let us forget about COVID-19 for some time. Let the government, state government or central government or the administrators, let them take care of it. Being a professionals, entrepreneurs, economists, and as an individual. So let's sit back and think over what's going to happen after June, July. Let the government machinery take care of controlling the COVID-19, which I'm sure our Indian government along with the state governments are doing great job. As an individual, as a professional, what we can do. Last week, our finance minister, she has announced 1.76 lakh crores of relief or subsidies to be given to the needy people and the poor people, and also followed by RBI governor. He has announced interest relief to the borrowers. Also, he announced that interest rate will be reduced on the deposits for the people who deposit the money with the banks. We need to understand, so this all adds to our cost to the fiscal budget what they prepared, what the Indian government has prepared in the last year. And that's going to be this cost going to increase our fiscal deficit. And this will come to each and every one of us as a tax, whether it can be indirect tax or direct tax, GST or income tax, whatever name you call it, it's all going to come and sit on everyone's head as a tax cost in the upcoming budgets. Also, they announced moratorium. The RBI governor has announced moratorium for the loans for next 3 months. I urge all the people who are all going to utilize this moratorium. Let's prepare the cash flow for next 2 years. Why 2 years? There are a lot of information coming from across the globe saying that next 6 months, at least from other than India, so people are looking that they are going to announce lockdowns. So there will not be any business continuity or the similar situation what has prevailed couple of months before. So people are saying it's going to be a real task for next 6 months, which means the current financial year, current April to March, that is the April financial which is going to start from tomorrow, I think we are going to face challenges. Each industry in India, either there will be a import dependency or export dependency, being a manufacturing industry or IT or ITES. So we are all going to depend on outside India market also. So we need to think about so how we are going to utilize the services or how we are going to sell the services or sell the goods what we are going to manufacture here, which is going to be a Himalayan task. All the ports have been closed across the globe now. So we don't know when it will be open. So if it is open, then only the goods can transit from there. The minimum 30 to 45 days it will take to reach India. Then we can start manufacturing unless we have the inventories of the imported parts. So I'm not threatening anyone or I'm not bringing fear factor for into everybody's mind. But at least we need to be cautious. And that's what I urge people to prepare a cash flow for next 2 years. So the next financial year, that is April 20 to March 21, I assume so there will be a reduction of 30 to 40% of the capacity. So what we have been utilized in the last financial year, since there's going to be a shrinkage in the export market, only everybody has to depend on domestic, that is Indian market. Then the year after, the next financial year, that is 21-22, so there may be a slight comeback compared to the next financial year. So we'll have to be tighten our belts and strictly prepare cash flow. Everybody can sit together virtually. So have a conference, have a Zoom call meetings, prepare a cash flow considering 50 to 60% of your capacity. So that's what we can aim it as a revenue, as a top line. Then prepare your cost budget, control everything, start from the scratch, come back to basics, begin from basics. So that's a lesson what we can learn from this crisis. So crisis, it's an opportunity for us to look into all the numbers. So get to basics, prepare your cash flow, then you can decide. So whether the moratorium the government has announced, whether we can utilize it or not. If the cash flow says yes, we want, go ahead and use it because it adds a cost to us. So it's not going. The interest is going to not going to stop. The interest clock is going to run again. So that is the important thing we need to have everyone's mind. Once the cash flow is prepared, then you can take a call. So where to focus on our next line items. Then capacity. See, whatever the capacity we are sitting on, whether it's a manufacturing industry or it's a IT or ITES. So what is the capacity we are going to have it? So there will be a unutilized capacity of machine, materials and man. So we need to think about it and sit together and talk to like-minded business professionals. So why can't we have a consolidated capacity planning? So whereby we can bring down the cost of operating the capacity to the minimum. So let's sell the capacity or share the capacity on a short-term basis for a 1 year or 6 months till the crisis is over. So capacity is what we need to operate it in a full optimum manner, either by operating on our own or jointly operating or selling our capacity or buying capacity from outside. So that is going to be the major thing which can bring your cost efficiency in a better way. Then the final is cost reduction. So everyone has to focus on cost reduction in the coming days. If we see in the manufacturing industry, there are lots of ifs and buts are going. So we don't know what's going to happen for BS6. So anyway, BS6 is announced and it is going to roll over from April 1st onwards. The engines are ready and the machines are fitted with engines are ready now, but that's going to be a cost now. So I heard some compact SUVs going to cost about 15 to 20,000 rupees per vehicle extra now. So who are going to buy that vehicles now? So people are thinking of not even looking into buying now. So they want to save for the future. So how is going to impact us the BS4 to BS6? Then people are going to reduce their expenses from the luxury spending. So a lot of announcement is coming on the way, and I was speaking to people. They are saying that no, their incentives or bonuses and the increment is going to be on hold, and even in fact people have gone further that there is going to be a reduction in your salary, which means so we are not going to spend any money. We will not have any money to spend. So that's going to be automatically shrinkage in demand. So how are you going to meet our targets, the revenue targets? That's why I urge people to look into the cash flow estimates, budget estimates for next 2 years. Have a very conservative numbers on top lines. Let's say 50 to 60%. If you meet it, that will be the great. And look into cost areas where you can optimize, where you can share the capacity, where you can share the resources. Then only you can meet your numbers or you can have a break-even points. So this is a tough time. So to meet the COVID-19 crisis, I think I will advise so people can focus on 3 C's. One is the cash flow management for next 2 years, then the capacity planning, share the capacity with your fellow subsidiaries or the like-minded companies, then focus on cost reduction. These 3 C's, you use it as a weapons to win over the COVID-19 war. So thank you and all the very best.